Sagittarius, what is up, y'all? What's happening? What's good? What it do? It is time for your weekly check-in. We're gonna see what's going on with y'all in the third week of August. Remember, weekly check-ins are just a short, sweet, quick, general, energetic overview. If any of you need a personal reading, you can always go straight to my website, tarotwithrich.com. But I have a link in the description of the video. Most people prefer my general personal readings. You ain't got to ask me nothing. You ain't got to tell me nothing. All you got to do is click what you want read and let me do the rest. It's quick, easy, efficient, and cheap too. But I do offer more than that. And you can read up on everything else I have to offer on my website. The link's in the description. All right, let's see what we can tell Sagittarius. What can we tell Sagittarius about their situation and the person they're dealing with in the third week of August? What's happening between Sagittarius and the person they're dealing with in the third week of August? Five of Cups reversed. Ooh. You're getting over this, aren't you? Some of you may not even realize it. That's one of the funny paradoxes about the healing path. From what I've noticed, a lot of people who think they're healing aren't healing. And a lot of people who are healing don't realize how much healing they're doing. One of the most common questions that I get from Zoom clients on a Zoom call is they'll say, I just want to know what I'm doing wrong. What is blocking me? What's preventing me from reaching my full potential? Or why can't I find my life's purpose? And I'll say, well, hold up. What makes you think that you're doing something wrong? And then usually they kind of stop and think for a minute, and it has something to do with, I feel horrible. I don't feel good. I feel so uncomfortable. That means you're doing something right. The healing path, the spiritual path, isn't always rainbows and unicorns. Oh, there's rainbows and unicorns, though there is. But there's a big part of it that ain't. Oh, there's a big part of it that sucks. And if you ain't going through that, if you're on a spiritual path and you've never been uncomfortable, you've never felt like you were just going fucking crazy, you ain't doing it right. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna suck. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Anyway, let's see here. Yep, see? A lot of you don't realize that you're doing more healing than you know. Now, I'm not saying that you're glowing and floating on a cloud and shitting rainbows, but you're doing more healing than you know. A lot more. Devil card, Page of Swords reversed. Obsessive stalker. You probably already knew that too. You've been really holding back, haven't you? You've been really holding back. You've been biting your tongue, holding back, just pushing through, and it's feeling like you're getting to the point where you're about to break, doesn't it? But you're not. You're about to break through the light at the end of the tunnel, and you just don't realize it. So, I mean, as far as this person in this situation, Ace of Cups, Page of Swords reversed. Doesn't look like a lot of movement's happening here. Doesn't look like it. But like I said, I think now this right here, I think the majority of you who need to hear this message, it's probably a situation that isn't very recent. I try to do the best I can to cover as many different situations as possible, but this Doesn't really feel like a very new situation for the majority of you. I guess it could be. I'm not saying that that's completely off the table. But especially for those of you dealing with a situation that's not new. It's not a new situation. Whether it's been on and off for the past couple of years, or you finally broke up 8 months ago and it's just been eating at you, whatever the case may be, you're about to really see all the hard work that you've put in pay off. Like big time. I'm thinking that something is coming in that's going to make you look at this person and laugh. You're going to look at this. Oh, yeah. See? Yeah. Yeah. You got blessings waiting right around the corner. And you know when it happens? When you least expect it. It's the only time it can happen. Those of you who got my Manifesting Financial Abundance course, and you understand this science and the quantum physics behind how the manifestation process works, you know why it only happens when you least expect it. And for most people, when do they least expect it? Right when they give up on it, right? Right when they just give up on it and completely release it. Maybe they've just been holding on for so long that they just can't hold on anymore, or whatever. Whatever the case may be. As soon as you throw in the white towel and say, all right, fucking, I'm done. Boom, now the door can pop open. And I'm thinking that's what's happening here. You're going to look back on this person and laugh. Like literally laugh. Not that thing y'all love to do where you try to laugh things off just so you'll forget about it. But you'll genuinely find it hilarious as fuck. Okay, well, and I think this person's going to be watching the whole thing. They're going to be watching the whole thing. And you know how that goes, right? Okay, interesting message. Let me see what signs I have on the table here. I got Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Capricorn, Taurus, Aries. Fuck, could be anybody, man. Those are just energies. All right, let's see how they feel about you at the deepest level. Their deepest feelings, energies, and intentions. Person Sagittarius is dealing with. What are their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions? Ace of Cups reversed. So, for those of you wondering whether or not this person loves you, I wouldn't use love to describe how they feel about you. I wouldn't say that. But they're not moving on from this. I don't even know how to describe that. I don't know how to describe that. Usually I have a couple of little go-to phrases that I'll use for energy like this. Like, you take up a lot of space in their head. You know, they feel karmically tied to you. They feel a strong energetic connection. And those are legitimate ways to describe this. But I think this is a little bit more than that. A little bit more than that. Because, yeah, you do take up a lot of space in their head. No, they are not moving on from this. This is weighing on them very heavily. But I wouldn't say that they love you. I wouldn't say that. How do you describe that? You know? What's the best descriptive word for that? I don't even know. I don't even know. Karmic tie is a good word. There is a karmic tie. They haven't released it. I don't know. I don't know how to describe that. I really don't. I do not. All right, whatever. Okay. Is there any advice here? kind of advice can we give Sagittarius for this situation? Ooh, Hierophant karmic wheel again. Okay, so this is hard advice to give. I wish I could think of a deeper way to explain this advice, but this is one of these types of situations that there's not really much you can do other than trust the process. And I know that's like, that's irritating to hear that, to trust the process. But this is one of these types of situations, whoops, I kicked my tripod. This is one of these types of situations that eventually it's going to make sense. Eventually, like I said, you're going to look back on this and laugh. I promise you that. Promise you that. You're going to look back on it. Not only will you laugh, but you'll be exploding with gratitude because things are going to fall into place that you never would have imagined. You're going to be looking back on this and seeing this for something that you never could have come up with in a million years on your own. And it's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. So, and again, there's not really a lot you can do other than trust the process. Well, you know, some people block themselves from seeing it. I'll tell you that there is a way that you can block yourself from that. If you allow yourself to stay stuck in your feelings and stuck in your emotions, you know, the term everything happens for a reason, that ain't no joke. That ain't no joke. You have to be able to hold on to that. Isn't it funny how we humans always love to say that everything happens for a reason when things are going good? When things are going good in life, it's easy to see that everything happens for a reason. But when things aren't going that good, when something painful happens, something hurtful, something that goes against what you had planned or whatever, isn't it funny how quick everything happening for a reason goes flying out the window? Isn't that funny? That's the true spiritual test right there. When something is happening that you have no control of, something is happening that you don't want to happen, and you can trust that one of these days this is going to make sense. One of these days this is going to make sense. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow. But what'll block that is if you allow yourself to be overcome by those thoughts of, man, this shouldn't have fucking happened that way. That shouldn't have happened this way. I can't believe everything I did for that person, and this is how they repaid me, and this and that. That'll block it. That'll block it. That'll block it. That will block it. So the best thing that you can do, and it's hard. I'm not trying to make this shit sound easy. It's hard. But every time it comes to mind, ask yourself, does it make sense yet? Okay, it's not time. A month later, does it make sense yet? Okay, it's not time. 6 months later, does it make sense yet? It's not time. If you can hold an open heart and an open mind, only if you can hold an open heart and an open mind, it'll make sense one day. If your mind is closed, then no, it'll never make sense. If you're still so stuck in your ways, it'll never make sense. If your mind is so closed off and you're just trapped in what you wanted to happen, the way you thought it should have happened, you know, then it'll never make sense. But if you can trust the universe and be open to things happening that are outside of your imagination, miracles can fucking happen for you in your life. It can just be a slow, long, drawn-out, pain-in-the-ass process getting there and allowing the universe to do it for you. That's a true spiritual path, ladies and gentlemen. A true spiritual path isn't somebody who knows everything and has everything all figured out. Oh, hell no. Oh no. A true spiritual path means I don't know shit. I don't know a goddamn thing. But you know what I do know? How to step the fuck out of the way and let the universe work miracles for me without getting in there and getting in the way and trying to control shit and trying to fight everything. And I know how to listen to the universe when the universe is telling me to just step back and shut up. I step back and shut up. And if you can stay out of the way, staying out of the universe's way is what the most spiritual people and manifestors have figured out. Is when to take a step back. I'm not saying be a lazy piece of driftwood, just floating aimlessly and never do anything. What I'm saying is sometimes it's appropriate to get in there and get your hands dirty, but you have to know when to step back and let the universe do what it's got to do. All right. Time to shift gears. I trailed way off on that one. Let's see what's going on between Sagittarius and the person you're interested in. Singles. Singles and your love interest. What's happening here? Oh, King of Swords reversed. Uh-oh. Hang on. Are you maybe starting to suspect that this person might be playing games with you? Maybe playing mind games with you? Yeah. So remember, the first spread is just a general overview, and it's mainly from your perspective. So you could just be totally tripping. I'm not saying this is the end-all, be-all gospel of truth. But honestly, this is telling me that you're about to walk away from this. Because allegedly, it just seems like this person's playing games, playing mind games, gaslighting you, you know. But then at the same time, it seems like this person has feelings for you. But then on the other hand, it feels like they're playing games and gaslighting you. So I don't think it's going to take too long before you just snap and say, fuck this, and walk away. And abandon this. You might ghost this person. Poof, boot scootin' boogie. Okay, some of you dealing with an Aquarius. I also have, is that it? That's it, okay. Oh, I got Leo here too. All right, could be anybody. Those are just energies. Now it's time for the moment of truth. T-R-O-O-F, truth. What are their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions? How do they really see you? How do they really feel about you? What are their thoughts, feelings, and opinions? Hopes, dreams, and expectations? Four of Wands reversed. There's some kind of blockage. And I think they're a little bit nervous to take whatever action would need to be taken in order to overcome that blockage. Wasn't that, I already told you all that in another reading a few days ago, didn't I? Sounds familiar. Yeah, okay. So, here's the thing. Are they playing mind games and gaslighting you? No, they're not. No, they're not. But do good intentions excuse shitty behavior? That's the question. That's the $1 million question. No, they're not playing games. No, they're not gaslighting you. No, they're not manipulating you. But I also think that they're a little bit afraid. They're a little bit afraid to step all the way into this and commit to this to such a degree that they're willing to overcome whatever blockage is in between the two of you. I'll give you an example. Like a good example of a blockage could be like a long distance relationship, right? Or maybe conflicting work schedules, stuff like that, you know? Or sometimes it's a pesky, nosy fucking family member or a friend, you know? So the question is, do I want you bad enough to uproot from where I'm living and leave my life behind? Do I want you bad enough to go find another fucking job? Do I want you bad enough to tell my mom to fuck off if she got a problem with who I'm with? Do I want you that bad? That's the question. Am I willing to tell my best friend since elementary school, go fuck off if you don't like who I'm getting with? Am I willing to tell my boss, yo, I can't keep working all this overtime. I got stuff going on in my personal life. And take a chance on getting on my boss's bad side. Do I want this that bad to overcome whatever blockage is standing in between the two of us? That's what I think here. I think that I don't know if they're that committed to this, to overcome whatever this is, whatever this shit is. So, no, not bad intentions. No, they're not playing mind games with you. No, they're not gaslighting you. But then again, at the end of the day, does that excuse shitty behavior? That's the reason why I read intentions. So that you can know what the real cause behind their actions is. Now, again, does that excuse shitty behavior? That's up to you. I'm not going to tell you whether it should or it shouldn't. Because we all draw that line in a different place, you know? There's some things that if I know your intentions behind it, I'll let it slide. If I know where you're coming from, okay, I'll let that slide. There's other things that, no, fuck your intentions. You crossed the line, deuces. Where do we draw that line? That's the $1 million question. That's what's up to you. That's why I read their intentions. All right, well, let's grab the advice on this. What is the best advice from the best advice? Dum-dum-dum. Eight of Pentacles reversed. Well, after a certain point, you shouldn't be the one putting forth all the work. After a certain point. Now, obviously, it's kind of unrealistic to expect everything to always be 50-50 all of the time. You know, we're going to fluctuate. There's going to be good days. There's going to be bad days. There's going to be days where I'm giving 80 and you're giving 20. There's going to be days where you're giving 80 and I'm giving 20 and everything in between. But when you take a look at a connection retrospectively, like however long you've been dealing with this person, let's say you've been dealing with this person for 3 months, just for example. I look back on the whole 3 months, who has been on average putting forth the most energy and effort into this connection? If it's you, boo-boo, time to boot, scoot, and boogie. Time to boot, scoot, and boogie. Again, hey, we all have hard times. We all go through bad days, right? And that's cool. I'm not expecting you to constantly give 50-50 all day, every day. You know, I'll pick up the slack when you're having a bad day. I hope you pick up the fucking slack when I'm having a bad day. We'll go back and forth. But if I take a look back at the last 3 months, 6 months, a year, and I've been the one putting 80, 90, 95%, or sometimes even fucking 100%. That's one-sided. That's one fucking sided. After a certain point, you have to ask yourself, When should I receive my ROI? How long should I have to wait? Because I've been hammering this point to every sign here for the past couple of weeks. It doesn't take long to identify a pattern. Doesn't take long. Learning how to identify a pattern and a cycle is key, especially when dealing with a new person. Now, once we come together and we lay a foundation and we've built an empire and we're growing together, then the rules kind of change a